Hello, Internet. How's it going? My name is Paul, and I'm a Christian, and I'm actually studying to hopefully one day be a Bible teacher. And I don't know, I guess I think about Bible stuff a lot, and I don't know, I just sometimes I think about points I've heard in sermons or devotionals, or even, I mean, the Bible. A thought came to me and was like, what if I actually recorded these thoughts that I had? Because I used to think maybe I can write them down, but being a film major person a long time ago in the past, I thought, what if I just record it? I mean, it's much easier to talk, I guess, because for something when I write, my hand cramps. So I figured that maybe I will just record it. So I'm gonna try it out, see what sticks. One thought, I guess, I thought of recently is that it's about Peter, the disciple, when Jesus was getting ready to die. So in Mark chapter 14, we see that the Lord's Supper is happening. Jesus is gathering with his disciples. Jesus is about to get arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he's been telling his disciples over and over again that this is going to be happening. But for some reason, you think after 3.5 years they would finally click in their heads, but for some reason it didn't. So Jesus tells them in verse 27 of Mark chapter 14, it says, Jesus said to them, you will all fall away from me, because it is written, I will strike down the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. But after I have been raised, I will go ahead of you to Galilee. And that verse by itself is pretty interesting, because Jesus is pretty much saying, yeah, when I'm about to be arrested, you guys are going to all abandon me. You guys have been my closest friends for the past 3.5 years, and you're going to ditch me. You're not even have my back or anything. You're just going to run away and hide. But yet, even despite that, Jesus saying, I still want to meet with you guys in Galilee after all these things take place. But Peter, one of his disciples, who always seems to be sticking his foot in his mouth a lot, he says, even though all may fall away from you, I won't do that. Those guys, these other guys, yeah, they're gonna fall. They may fall away, but not me, Jesus. Not me. But then that's when Jesus said to him, before the rooster crows, you're gonna deny me 3 times that you even know me. And it's interesting, the Bible says that Peter kept insistently saying, no, I'm not going to fall away. You can keep saying that, but it's not going to happen. And he was even saying, even if I have to die with you, I'm not going to deny you. Oh, and then I guess apparently all the disciples were saying the same thing. I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. So then, as we know, they all leave the Last Supper and they go to the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus gets arrested and they all flee from him, just like Jesus said it would happen. But I guess after a certain point, John and Peter decide, wait a minute, you know what, I'm going to turn around and follow him. And so when Peter gets there, I guess one of the servant girls, she notices that he looks kind of, one of the servant girls realizes that he looks pretty familiar. She says, wait a minute, aren't you one of Jesus' disciples? And of course, just like Jesus said, Peter said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know the man. So there goes, one time, denying Jesus. And I guess another servant girl saw him and began once more saying to the bystanders, hey, this is one of his disciples. And of course, Peter doesn't want people to know that he was a disciple, because I mean, if they're going to arrest Jesus and do who knows what to him, I mean, what are they going to do to Peter? And he saw what they did to Jesus. They arrested him, so he's probably next. He's probably going to be joining them. But again, he denied it. Strike 2. And then a little while later, another one of the bystanders says, yes, you were one of them. I can even tell by the way you are talking. You are Galilean. You must be one of them. And it's interesting because Peter starts cursing and swearing, trying to make himself unlike a disciple of Christ as possible. Because I mean, a disciple, someone who's going to follow Christ, why would they use dirty words and curses and swearing and all that stuff? If most people saw it, no one would really think first thought, you must be a Christian. And then it's interesting because then the rooster crows, and in the book of Luke, it actually mentions a detail that when that happened, Jesus looks directly right at Peter. I don't know about you, but if you were saying, no, I'm not going to deny you, Jesus, and then all of a sudden you do deny him, and he looks at you straight in the eye and the face, man, I would probably have the same reaction as him. I would begin to weep. I mean, how do you recover from that? Like a spoiler alert, he does. And then Jesus, he gets condemned to die, and he gets crucified upon a cross. Can you imagine how Peter must have felt that from that point on and that entire weekend till he saw Jesus again? And you would think after 3.5 years, the disciples would remember, oh yeah, he did say he was going to die, and yes, he said he was going to raise again, so we should expect him to raise again on Sunday. But for some reason, the disciples were pretty clueless about it. I don't get it. But I mean, can you imagine that? Peter's thinking all Friday and Saturday and Sunday about how he denied Jesus, his best friend. He said he didn't want to do it. He really wanted to stand up for Jesus and declare his faith in him. He's done that several times in the Gospels, but now he really failed him, and he came in a way he probably feels he can't even ask for forgiveness because he's dead now. Jesus raises again on Sunday, and it's really interesting when the women go to the tomb to finish the burial process of Jesus, that they've come across these angels. They say, "Do not be amazed. You are looking for Jesus the Nazarene, who has been crucified. He has risen. He's not here anymore. Behold, here is the place where they laid him." See, you can see he's nowhere to be found. He's alive. But then this is the part I really like. "But go tell his disciples and Peter, he's going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he has told you." So the angels tell the women to relay this message that, hey, remember when Jesus said that you guys were going to abandon him and that he wanted to meet you guys in Galilee? Yeah, you guys left. And guess what? He still wants you to be in Galilee to meet him. Jesus didn't abandon them. He didn't want to reject them. He still wanted to be in their presence. He still wanted to change them and have them spread the gospel about him, even though they failed really bad. And this verse is really cool because it mentions Peter specifically. So as Jesus was being led to the cross, he knew what Peter was going through, and when he resurrected, that's still what he thought about. He was still thinking of Peter. And even though he tried to distance himself a lot by cursing and swearing, and I mean, Peter failed big time, but yet he still wanted to meet with him in Galilee. He wanted to give Peter hope that he still wanted to be his friend and that he loves him very dearly. That gives me a lot of hope, because I don't know about you, but I've been in some dark places. I've really messed up. But yet Jesus still wants to spend time with me. He still wants to meet with me every day and be by me for the rest of my life, every hour, moment, and day. That's really cool and really hopeful. So if you feel like Jesus just wants to cast you off, or he doesn't love you anymore, he does. Otherwise, why would he die on a cross, a horrible, miserable death, to win you back? That, to me, how could he not love you? It even says in John chapter 6 that anyone who comes to him, he's not going to cast out. If you really want to come to him, he'll show up. So it doesn't matter what you've done, he still wants you back. And that's the point I would like to get across. So, I don't know if you guys like this, but if you're watching this, please leave a comment. Tell me if you liked it. Let me know your thoughts of the story or any details that kind of adds to what I was saying. And I don't know, maybe I'll post more. We'll see. Bye.